Hi, this is Kiora and Brook from Second Act Sisters. We're thrilled to have you with us again. Today, we're joined by two very special guests. We couldn't navigate life without their support, their willingness to join our crazy adventures, and their presence during life's toughest moments. Please welcome our best friends and husbands, Adam and Paul. So grab a comfy chair or take the dog for a walk and join us as we delve into our adventure together and how we are embracing this next chapter of life. Okay, so Brooke, rather than doing our highs and lows this time, what are we doing?
We are going to talk about our favorite things about our spouses. And
are they going to talk about us?
Yeah, they're going to talk about us and we're going to talk about them.
Sounds good to me.
I'm going to go first.
Okay, you take it.
Okay, my husband, Paul, is an amazing father and an amazing husband, and our kids are his pride and joy. He has a powerful testimony of the gospel, and he's a jack of all trades who's willing to support all of my crazy ideas. And like every time I want to paint or please let's build a shed, he supports it all. It's great.
That's
one of my favorite things about him is that he makes me laugh every day.
Laughing is good. Okay, Paul, since you're joining us today, would you like to tell us what you like about your wife?
What I like most about my wife is that she is kind. I kind of say that that's almost her fatal flaw. She's kind to everybody, to the point that she can even sacrifice herself and her needs at times. And so sometimes it's helpful to return her back to self-care and that kind of thing. But I think one of the things I love most is that a nerd like me could land a gal like her. So if
you're so lucky,
just look at our wedding photo where it's pretty much Wonder Woman married Mr. Limpet.
I love it. Plus, she made her own wedding dress, which is phenomenal. So
I did.
That's amazing. Okay, so I will tell you a little bit about why I love Adam. He is kind and compassionate, and his dedication to our family and to the Lord inspire me daily. Plus, he's pretty cute.
Yes.
So, okay, Adam.
Well, I have to say something suitable for the radio, right?
Right.
For podcasts.
Nice.
Okay. So what I love about Kiora, there's so many things, but for me, it comes down to how gentle and genuinely kind she is to everybody around her, whether it's a critter, an animal, or all of us, and me especially. So she just has a knack of being a mother and a lover at the same time.
Well, thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
Are you crying? You look a little misty-eyed.
So sweet. You know, it's always nice to hear every once in a while, right?
It is. Liz.
So that's sweet.
Well, we're going to talk about how we met our husbands next. Well, we're going to let our husbands talk about how they met us next.
Okay. Okay. Well, do you want us to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Adam.
All right.
You're on.
Well, so this story could be told a lot of different ways, and it could be a really long story, so I have to give a very abbreviated story. But how I met Kiora was in the 3rd grade. She moved in the neighborhood near mine, and I saw her in elementary school on the first day of 3rd grade. And believe it or not, I looked at her, and I smiled, and I said to myself, I'm going to marry that girl one day.
You were like 7.
She was the cutest thing, with this cute brown curly hair and this smile that just lit up the sky. It was amazing. Even in the 3rd grade, I thought she was so cute. And I stalked her for years, and it all worked out.
Yes, we didn't get together till the end of our senior year.
Senior year of high school. Yep.
When the Adam Cartwright asked you out.
Well,
did you ever really ask me out?
I don't know. I think we just started going out somehow.
Yeah. Well, you did ask me to prom. And that was like, I think, our first official date.
I did ask you to prom. So
you asked me one thing. So, okay, Brooke and Paul.
All right. When I was in 4th grade, Brooke was in 2nd. We went to different schools together.
So you did not know each other?
No. It wasn't until I was 23. I think it was the summer of 94. A bit after a kind of a self a revelatory experience. That's a whole other story. And an ill-advised breakfast that was its own other story. But the first time that we met was at a sporting goods store that I had worked at for about a year and a half. She had just been hired, and I was setting tents up on a wall, which is its own other story. And the manager introduced me to her, and as soon as I turned around and saw her, the revelatory experience that I had referenced before kind of flashed in front of me. And I was bent at that point to get to know her and to date her. And it wasn't until a couple months later, I asked her to go to the Nutcracker Ballet. And
Ooh.
I do believe that it was our first actual date. And during intermission, we actually talked marriage.
Wow.
Wow.
Am I right?
You're right. You're right.
That's awesome. So I came and bought shoes from you when you worked there. So I wonder if she was there already.
She may have been, but she was in shoes. That I think, no, you were in clothes. Like you did the clothing, right?
I was wearing shoes and clothes.
Yes.
I'm glad
I did work in both shoes and clothing.
those were still some of my favorite shoes I ever bought.
Nice. Well, good job.
So thank you.
Good job to that sporting store.
Well, it just proves when you know, you know.
It's true. We both told the same manager, not when we were together, but independently, the same manager that we were going to marry one another. And we didn't know that until later on, but kind of a fun part of our dating story.
And he probably asked you to marry him, huh?
He did.
Interesting.
Well, maybe that's interesting.
Story for another time. Next husband's episode.
Okay, so we were going to talk about how we reconnected.
Yes.
So Paul and I hung out off and on for years. We're close in age, year apart in school.
How are you related?
Oh, we're cousins.
We are cousins, and as you were saying that we hung out for a bit, I do remember one time during, I was having problems dating, and I asked my cousin for advice, and she gave me the sagely line of, "Your problem is you're stuffy." Boring.
I don't remember that.
You did. You said those two words. And faithful are the wounds of a friend, because she was right. And so.
And you still love me?
I don't know.
That's awesome. I don't remember that. I am sorry. I was so blunt. And I wonder where my children get it. So anyway, I was saying we hung out a lot growing up, but then when I got married and life gets in the way and he got married, we kind of did our thing. So you want to jump in there?
Well, the first time I met you and Adam was at your wedding reception. That was the
Really?
first time. It really was. We had not met before then. Paul and I had only been dating for maybe 3 months at that point, and we knew we were going to get married. But yeah, he said, "Do you want to go with me to my cousin's reception?" And I said, "Sure." And I knew I wanted to be your friend then, but then you guys moved away and life happens. We had children. And we just lost that connection. I think we had a Sunday dinner at your parents' house once when your 2 little boys were little. Maybe even your oldest daughter, was a baby, maybe. But I know you were in town visiting.
Okay.
So we had one time where we had a Sunday dinner together. And then nothing until,
unfortunate events arise. And my mother passed away a little over 8 years ago. And we flew back to Salt Lake, of course, for I'll take care of the situation. And lo and behold, Paul and Brooke were super helpful, and we reconnected. And I think we were sitting at the luncheon afterwards saying, why?
and we invited ourselves to come and stay at your house in Colorado.
Yes.
Thank you for letting me just insert.
No,
lives.
that's how we roll over here.
It is.
You come, you take care of yourself, you're on your own,
Mm-hmm.
make it your home. So started then. So you guys came to Colorado one time?
2 times.
2?
We came twice.
I guess we didn't move a couple years after that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we came twice. And that kind of started our vacationing with each other, I guess. Not really vacationing, but our vacationing with you. And since then, we've had quite some adventures together.
We certainly have. And then we moved way closer.
Way close.
Still 4 hours, but 4 hours is manageable.
4 hours is much better than Colorado.
We don't have to drive through Wyoming.
Oh my gosh, is there anything more boring?
It's news.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we did have a lot of fun in Colorado. There were some fun activities, and I've got great photos of that one jungle gym, adult jungle gym that we went to at the park,
Epic.
and all the things we used to do, going to concerts and other things. There's just lots of fun that we had.
It's true. One of our favorite things that we've done is our cruise with you guys.
Oh, that was so fun.
I loved the cruise. We got to do it again. So we went to Alaska on a cruise, and when Kiora and I were contemplating this trip, we knew we needed you guys to come with us.
We're like, how?
And we were like, how can we convince them to go on this cruise with us? And it was so amazing. All we did was tell you about it, and you guys were like, yeah, we're in, we're going. So
You told us about it for 6 hours.
And I have to have a little blurb in here. Paul does not like the ocean. I guess I shouldn't say that he doesn't like the ocean. He likes to view the ocean on the sandy shores.
Uh-huh.
But being in the ocean, whether it's in a flotation device or just himself, not his favorite thing.
I've seen Poseidon.
Exactly.
And he refused to see Titanic.
That's why I do Alaska. I can see land the whole time.
I love Alaska. And we had such a good time. I mean, we went, and I think we left out of Seattle. And from that moment, like just the traveling up there and hanging out and going to see things in Seattle was so much fun. The getting on the cruise ship and enjoying that experience. One of my favorite memories of that cruise is that we found this band on the cruise ship called The Drop. And they had this fabulous singer, and they had a great host, a good guitarist, and good keyboardist, good drummer. I mean, it was just a good package. And then we became these, middle-aged groupies following this band around the ship at the different venues. And we had such a good time doing it.
I agree. That was a great time. And Paul was born in Alaska. He's from Alaska. It was such a treat to go and see his homeland, for lack of a better word, through his eyes and have him share that part of me because he has such a deep love of Alaska. So that was really special as well.
Well, and there's nothing like seeing the wildlife up there in their own place and the untouched land. Anyway, yeah, as you know, I would go back tomorrow.
So some of our other trips we've taken are going to Vegas with your family. And I'm going to let Paul talk about the first time we went to Vegas and the love-hate relationship our car has with Southern Utah.
German-made automobiles shouldn't go to St. George. While we were in Vegas, we were eating at a pizza place. And again, I forgot the name of it. But during the middle of eating pizza, literally as I was putting a slice in my mouth, I hear Adam say, "Oh, Paul, I am so sorry." And I went, what? And he's looking at his phone, and he shows me a video. They have a camera at the front of their house where my car was parked, and it was very windy. The house across the street has a very tall cinder block wall, yet you will watch something out of like sci-fi movies. The trampoline that the people owned crawled up the wall, came down the side, and then beeline down the road and somersaulted from front to back right over our car, damaging every panel. And it is very bizarre. And again, I'm hoping Adam can share that video.
Yeah, we'll share it on our Instagram.
It's very bizarre.
Oh, we should. It was so crazy. And I remember, when I saw that video, my jaw hit the floor, and I felt so bad because I could tell like you're going to come back and see your car damaged. And I thought you were going to be really upset, but you guys were awesome. You were just like, well, it happens. And Yeah, it was totally out of everybody's control. And
It was so windy.
It looked like a spider.
Yeah, it totally looked like a spider climbing the wall.
it's a famous video around here because when it gets windy at our house, it gets windy. And people they often ask, like, how windy? And we say, well, this is how windy. We show that video. So the neighbors, they did replace their trampoline, but they have it staked in the ground now.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, our second time, so that first time when we went down and there was the trampoline incident, we went to an escape room. With
Yeah, we were in the middle of COVID and
Yeah, in the middle of COVID. It was a nice little escape. And the second time we went down, it was for child number 3, your child number
Yes.
3's birthday, the 21st birthday. And we got to do the high roller and the Marvel Museum and the fashion show mall.
and the dolphins.
Yes. And Paul had a palm reading. Do you want to talk about your palm reading?
No, it wasn't. I actually just wanted her to. I saw this lady just sitting at a cart, and she offered various mysticism type stuff. And after walking the mall from end and then back, I decided that I wanted to have one done. I've never had it done. So I asked her if she'd read my palm, and she said, no, that's not what you want. Well, okay.
She should know.
Right. So she decided to then tell me about me and my life and things. And while at first, I think most people would view such people as they'll talk in generalities or lucky guesses, or the person that they're talking to will apply it however they want to. And I know that the woman had seen me and my wife and my daughter walk past. But what I didn't expect was for her to start telling me about my second child, my son, who wasn't even with us. He was still up in Salt Lake. And the things she said at that point were enough for me to really consider that there are sensitive souls that, even though I've been born and raised in the gospel, that the gifts of the Spirit can apply. And I kind of wanted to hope to go back and maybe reverse it and maybe talk to her about the gospel and see if we could use her gifts in a different way. But I don't know if
I totally want to go do that now. That's so cool.
Next trip.
Next trip.
Well, we just got back from another trip down to Vegas. Adam, do you want to talk about our trip that we just took?
Yeah, I thought it was a great time because this time we went to Omega Mart, which was just a trippy place. I mean, it's a grocery store, and then it's like this weird world of interactive art exhibits. So that was a lot of fun. And, we got to do some things that we'd never done before, like go to a wax museum. That was a good time.
That was really cool.
And so, but more than anything, the food was great, and just hanging out with you guys is always a ton of fun. And yeah, I hope we go back again. It's always fun because it's close to where we live, so it's only a couple-hour drive away. And, you go this time of year and things are cheap, and it's just a good time.
I was going to say, though, that one of the times, I can't remember which one that we did, but we did go do a session of
At the temple.
in the temple. And the Las Vegas temple is definitely one to put on your radar.
It is one of my absolute favorites.
It's
It really is.
place.
It's a gorgeous temple, and we've really come to love it, especially as our temples here in St. George, they were closed. Well, the St. George temple was closed, and the Red Cliffs temple was under construction for several years. And so our really only option was to go to Las Vegas or up to Cedar City. And Cedar City was always packed. It was difficult to get into, and we could always find an appointment in Las Vegas. And so Kiora and I got in the habit of going quite frequently for a while there, especially as our temples were closed. And yeah, I came to love that temple. And no, the rumors are not true that there are slot machines in the dressing rooms. There are none. I could not find any.
Yeah, that was actually another trip that we'd forgotten about
Yeah.
because we just went for the temple and then
Lunch.
dinner
Or dinner, yeah. Dinner at Carmine's.
at Carmine's.
The
Yes.
Las Vegas temple is my dad's favorite temple.
Is it? It really is one of mine.
He loves it.
So, so we've had some really great trips.
Yeah.
We don't have anything scheduled
Maybe we need to schedule.
except for Thanksgiving when everybody's here.
Yes.
All the children.
And a new oven.
Cross your fingers.
We don't need an
Who
oven.
needs an oven? I'm telling you, I can do it without it. And you have an Airbnb for that. So,
This is true.
okay. Some of the other things we've done when my child number 3 got married, Paul officiated. And Paul, do you want to say anything? No comments?
Yeah, I thought it was really neat. They called Brooke and I at our home, her and her fiance. And when they asked, I was initially overwhelmed. And then almost immediately, I started formulating what I wanted to do and how to do it. And I hope that it landed well.
It was amazing. You did a great job.
It was fantastic. What an experience.
Well, and your child number 2 was our bridesmaid. It was her bridesmaid.
That's true.
So the kids are
Enjoyed it. They like spending time together.
connected as well.
I have to elaborate on what Paul did. Since
Okay.
he's not going to. Your child number 3 is a huge, huge Marvel fan. And so Paul became Doctor Strange.
It was so cool.
He had the cape. I mean, it was authentic. We ordered it off of Etsy. It was handmade just for him. And he
had the
goatee,
hair,
and
the
he
goatee.
did the hair. It was fantastic.
I did the hair. The gray was natural.
This is true. The gray was natural, but he did grow out his facial hair and then trimmed it into a goatee. So he was ready to go. It was really fun. It was really fun.
Well, on this last trip, your child number 1 came and joined us in Vegas.
Yes. And again,
So,
driving my Passat.
oh, you want to tell the story?
Sure. Just outside of Cedar City, they were behind a truck that dropped a huge piece of metal. And you know how it is when something happens on the road and you're traveling at freeway speeds. You just don't have a lot of reaction time. He did the best he could, and the piece of metal went up underneath the carriage of our car and just ripped it to shreds. And so luckily, no one was hurt. And again, no big deal. It's just stuff. We were just glad that they were safe, but they were able to pull right over. And thankfully, your oldest was available to come and pick them up. And a tow truck came and took the car to a shop in St. George. And we were able to get a rental car. But luckily, our vehicle was still here because we'd driven with you guys. So our oldest and his girlfriend just hopped in that car and continued on to Vegas. And we all met up for dinner again at Carmine's.
So fun.
Yes, it was so fun. But, you know, it was really great, too, because then our youngest and her husband joined us on the Friday when we got back. And that was great. It was great to have both of my kids with us at some point. And then we got to see your kids. It was great.
Yeah, they love it.
And the baby.
And the babies.
And the babies.
Love the babies. Can't wait for all the babies.
I know. It's so fun.
So, and they love being together and playing Overcooked, Mario, anything, and swimming together.
Yes.
And late night trips to Wendy's, apparently.
Heck yes, for a Frosty. I got to go.
I know. I think you're
Awesome.
crazy.
That was good.
It's sleeping time that late. Okay, so we will wrap it up today. And we hope you enjoyed our episode with our husbands, and we will probably bring them back again.
Definitely.
Twist our arms. We'll come back.
So
Dollars.
$10. I'll just have your wife make you something.
Sweet.
Not at my house, though, because I have no oven.
I'll make you cookies.
So we're so glad that we've been able to reconnect, and look at us now doing crazy things.
I know. I can't
So-
imagine our lives without each other.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, for sure. For sure. So now just to plan the next big whatever.
Another cruise.
It only took us how many reschedules of the
Of the
Las
Vegas-
Vegas trip?
A year.
A year.
A year.
So we got to get something in the book so we can do the rescheduling thing.
Exactly. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap it up with a little thought today. And my thought is centered around our spouses and the importance of keeping your spouse's name safe. And it can apply to if you're with your family members or even just in your own home, but especially when you're with your friends and your spouse isn't there, just to be loyal to them and to keep their name safe and not to participate in spouse bashing. That can really, it's a form of betrayal, and it can just enter a seed of mistrust into your relationship. So it's important that your spouse knows that you have their back and that they have yours.
I love that. It's so important.
It is.
So thank you for the reminder.
Welcome.
Okay, so this is it for this episode. Thank you, husbands.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and we will talk to you all next time.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.